Top 10 Worst Serial Killers. When it comes to the most chilling and disturbing individuals in history, serial killers are at the top of the list. These cold-blooded murderers have committed heinous crimes that have shocked and horrified the world. In this video, we will delve into the top 10 worst serial killers who have left a trail of destruction in their wake. 10. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, horrified the nation with his gruesome series of crimes from 1978 to 1991. Dahmer's horrific spree involved the murder of 17 young men, many of whom he also dismembered and engaged in acts of necrophilia and cannibalism. His appalling methods of luring victims to his apartment, where he would then kill and often preserve their bodies for grotesque trophies, underscored the depths of his psychopathy. 9. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was a notorious figure whose charm and intelligence masked a diabolical predilection for murder. Active mainly in the 1970s, Bundy confessed to 30 homicides, though the actual number remains unknown. His modus operandi involved abducting, sexually assaulting, and then brutally killing his female victims. Bundy's reign of terror spanned across several states, eluding capture for years due to this cunning. He was eventually apprehended in 1978, bringing an end to a horrifying spree that had terrorized communities across the United States. 8. Mary Ann Cotton. Mary Ann Cotton, a name synonymous with Victorian-era crime, stands out for her methodical approach to murder. Dubbed Britain's first serial killer, she is believed to have poisoned up to 21 people, including 3 of her husbands and 11 of her children, using arsenic to secure insurance payouts. Operating from the 1850s until her capture in 1873, Cotton exploited the rudimentary forensic science of her time, evading suspicion for years. 7. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy, infamously known as the Killer Clown, terrorized the Chicago area in the 1970s. Gacy lured 33 young men and boys to his home under the guise of work, parties, or simply by impersonating a police officer before brutally murdering them. His heinous acts were concealed as he buried many of his victims beneath his own home. 6. Andrei Chikatilo. Andrei Chikatilo, known as the Rostov Ripper, was a Soviet serial killer responsible for the murders of 52 women and children between 1978 and 1990. His chilling method involved luring his victims to secluded areas, where he then committed his brutal acts, which included mutilation. Chikatilo evaded capture for years due to Soviet police forces' inefficiencies and denial of serial criminal activity within their regime. 5. Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos, labeled as America's most notorious female serial killer, embarked on a murder spree between 1989 and 1990, claiming the lives of 7 men in Florida. Wuornos, who worked as a prostitute, argued that her actions were in self-defense against the sexual assaults of her clients. Despite her claims, evidence and her eventual confession painted a picture of premeditation. 4. Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez, infamously known as the Night Stalker, haunted the streets of Los Angeles during the mid-1980s. His brutal spree included 13 murders, along with numerous assaults and burglaries, striking fear into the heart of Californians. Ramirez's crimes were particularly chilling due to their randomness and the sheer brutality involved. 3. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer, an enigmatic figure whose identity remains unknown, terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s, with a confirmed count of 5 victims, though claiming to have killed 37. 2. Gary Ridgeway. Gary Ridgeway, dubbed the Green River Killer, confessed to killing 71 women in Washington state during the 1980s and 1990s, though he was convicted of 49 murders, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history. Ridgeway targeted young women and girls, many of whom were runaways or sex workers. 1. Pedro Alonso Lopez. Pedro Alonso Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes, confessed to the rape and murder of over 300 girls across Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador during the 1970s and 1980s.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.